Hey YouTubers, it's me, Lonnie Clark. Oh shoot, I'm just gonna hold this wire so I can keep my phone plugged in and get the light. So anyways, hey YouTubers, it's me, Lonnie Clark, Nuts for Art. I know it's been a long while since I've done anything on YouTube. In fact, the last time I was on YouTube, it was about me advocating, saying how important it was to go to the streets, to take to the streets, to show our dismay at the treason that's right afoot. And boy, have I had an education since then. And I want to thank my subscribers and the people that watch these videos, and for the thoughtfulness and the thinking that is required these days, because we're living in perilous times. I've been listening to Thomas Ackerman's videos and his opinions about what we need and the betrayal. And, you know, it in Vegematic today sort of a message, and thank you Vegematic for your messages, because they do actually contribute to this ongoing conversation that we YouTubers have among ourselves, I guess. That's why we listen to Thomas Ackerman, and I listen to Vegematic, and I listen to Dane Wigington and other people, and I guess the Sane Environmentalist, and I listen to, who else? The Same Progressive, listen to her, don't always agree. There's a bunch of people that I listen to, but we don't need to agree. So, I don't know. I've been wanting to make a video, and that's why I made this video live, and I made it on this venue of Google Plus, because it goes live, goes right to YouTube. We really are in perilous times, but the thing is, we get to live through it. We are living through it, and our actions matter. The last time I put out a video was about taking to the streets. Well, I did not take to the streets today, although I did have a discussion about gun legislation and how it's ironic how we have this whole idea like we're not allowed to talk about nuclear pollution, nuclear harm. We're considered radicals, or the geoengineering, the chemtrails, the big experiment in the sky, whatever that's all about. In fact, we're getting to get it, what it's all about. They're telling us. It's not like it's being hidden. It's in plain sight, and it's happening to us and to our children. And yeah, Vegematic, it is a grave time. And, you know, we are kind of super screwed. I mean, this is the thing. When we're sad that in the White House that two super hawk military men are leaving the White House as advisors, and, you know, thinking that's the good thing, when right now what's going in there is just a propaganda machine. Honestly, like that, the people that his advisors right now, like, this is really bizarre that the Republicans are refusing to stand up against Donald Trump. And that I find it fascinating that people really believe that Donald Trump is, quote, cleaning house. He's getting rid of all the bad seeds inside the FBI. He's cleaning out the government. He's getting rid of the Illuminati types. I am dumbfounded that people believe that Donald Trump is that person. When before your very eyes, we are finding out the corruption, the almost mafia don. He thinks he's mafia don, you know, like President Mafia Don. That's what it's beginning to look like to me. And yeah, we look like we're super screwed in lots of ways. And actually, with Bolton coming on, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that guy is a fright. He wants war with Iran. Let's just be very clear. He believes in preemptive war. He believes in, like, if you don't do it our way, boom, we have the willpower. We're going to just bomb the crap out of you. And you're going to submit. We're going to make you submit. That's Bolton's idea. And I think that I'm hoping, let's just put it this way. I'm hoping that Americans will stick to our Constitution and stick to what it means to be American and why we do this. We do this to create a country where we can live in harmony with each other, not at each other's throats. I haven't seen the protest videos today. Today was actually my son-in-law's birthday, so I just went to go visit the grandkids. And, looking at my grandchildren, although, thinking about what their future is about and what their challenges are going to be. Like my one grandson, he wants to be a biologist. He's 8 years old. He told me clearly, I know what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a biologist. He loves animals. He knows a lot of stuff. I mean, it's kind of amazing all the things he knows about bugs and creatures. But that is what he does know. And it's quite charming, to tell you the truth, when an 8-year-old says, I'm going to grow up to be a biologist, and my dad should study biology so he can talk to me about it. Oh, I really? Okay, good. I said, so maybe Grandma will have to study it too. That's what life is about, folks. I mean, God dong. And then I saw this thing about these people in Fukushima protesting Abe, right? I mean, they're over there. The corruption team is coming out about Shinzo Abe. 5,000 people have been protesting him. People are protesting. See, this is the thing. That's why I thought it was appropriate for me to talk to you today. Because protesting isn't enough. Not at all. Voting isn't enough. I'm not even sure there is enough of anything that will make them stop what they're going to do, what they are doing. Their plan is in action, period. As we've been seeing, chop up stations all on YouTube. Like if you get too close to the core on the YouTube thing, so they could just chop you off anytime they want. And that's really where we're at. I guess it's cynical. I don't know if that's cynical, but I think it's realistic. And the question is, how do we defeat that? And when we say we want to tell people what they're talking about, well, I think a lot of people already know. I think at a gut level, people know that it's not right. And I think they know they're being polluted. I think they know the air is bad, but they just don't have answers. And I think that's what we need to demand, is answers. I think we need to stop with the lies. I mean, this big protest today, I imagine there was hundreds of thousands of people in the street, if not millions. I saw those little dots of where people were going to come out, and all these kids pouring their hearts out about the fear that they're feeling about, this. They're imperiled because they feel threatened. I don't know. I actually personally think that video games have a lot to do with the violence. I think we ought to really look at the video games. I think you put that barf into your mind and you're going to create a mentally disabled person. I think that is a really strong thing that's not being talked about. I think the video games have much more influence than anybody wants to think about. And the video games are intentionally made like that. I think we are being intentionally designed to be out of whack and out of balance. I mean, we live in such a bizarre time right now, because we know it's not like, there's a sentence in sales that says, you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it. But actually, we know it. We know we don't know it, and we know we don't know we know it. Like, we know the whole scene. We see it happening, and we know that we're not going to find out. And we know that we really have not got a hand in how it's all going to go. And we know that the likelihood of us being able to avoid the implications of having been involved in this and being affected by it are minimal because all of our children, all of us are breathing it, all of us are contaminated. But we still don't know, and we still have no control. And so they let us think that we can vote, and they let us talk about all these politics and the corruption. But it doesn't matter because they're going to keep doing it anyways. Because we're on the need to know basis, and we don't need to know. So guess what? We're not going to find out. And if it gets found out, that person who discussed it with us, I mean, if in real life, then in their career. I mean, this is literally like Caligula. You know what I mean? Like, they make Caligula look like a child considering what they're doing. The mind, the waves, the kinds of machines they're inventing to control people's thoughts. And it really is like a Brave New World where they just beam into you and tell you what to think. Sorry about the quart-sized jars, but that's what I drink out of. They want me to drink 4 of those a day. That's what happens when you let yourself get dehydrated. You have to drink extra water. So anyways, I just thought I would come back here because honestly, I have been off of YouTube intentionally, obviously, because I haven't been on YouTube. And all this kerfuffle about the obvious censorship, but I think YouTube censors people anyways. I think it's about us sticking together. I think it's about us taking the extra hand for us to stick together and help buoy each other up. Help each other. And make every effort to live with integrity and to live up to your higher self, whatever that is for yourself. Live up to your higher vibrations, wherever it is, and your vibrations get higher and higher, and help each other out, because that's what we need. We need to help each other out. And I think also stick to the idea of refusing to say anything negative if you can help it. Like Eric Oppenheim in a comment said, God, stop calling him Traitor Trump. Makes you sound stupid. True. I mean, I knew that from the get, but you know what? I think he's a traitor. And I do call him Traitor Trump, but I did stop calling him that on my radio show because I respect that type of a comment. But that's what I mean, like making honest comments and telling people that helps each other. We help each other by being real, by being authentic. We help each other get our message across better by sharpening the tools, by sharpening the pencil, and helping each other get along and improve in life and help each other. I mean, there's just ways that we can help. And I think that we need to take those opportunities to help. And that's how we're going to overcome it. And their oppression, I mean, I think this is serious. To be honest, citizen Americans, I think we are on the precipice of a pretty strong constitutional crisis coming across us. Because I think Trump is lining himself up to defy Robert Mueller and the police department and this investigation. He is going to, I think that Bolton is going to start a preemptive war with Iran or with, maybe North Korea even. I mean, George Bush Sr. is dying, so I told you this. I've always thought that he wanted to have like a nuclear bomb happen before he died. See a real war. But it is a perilous time that we live in. And that it's a shock for me as an American to see people defending the Trump administration and saying, but they're doing good with the economy. No, they're not. What they're doing is seriously wrong with the economy. And God forbid what was in this omnibus bill that was this thick and the earmarks were this thick. So it was like this thick, full of legislation, this $1 trillion budget. You think they didn't do something to take away our rights in there? or to give companies the right to pollute and kill us and harm our children. So times are grave. It does matter who's in office, actually. It does matter. You can hold the reins back on the timid people. I think that's part of what it is. These people are just emboldened. That's why I think most of us hated Hillary Clinton. She was just emboldened. But the more I think about it, actually, the more I think that the Democratic Party, the root of the Democratic Party, picked Donald Trump. Oh, they decided that they would rather have Donald Trump than Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders would make a huge difference and make our country much more equitable, socially equitable. And that would mean a big change to the people who are in the banking industry and Wall Street. They'd have to pay money, a lot of money, into taxes. And their families haven't been doing it since the 60s. Well, since Ronald Reagan came in and stopped all that taxation on the rich people, essentially. And that is where we've seen the economy and our infrastructure decline, because guess what? There's no money. Prior to the Ronald Reagan crunch, the rich people paid in a lot of money. They still had a lot of money, and we were able to build our country. And now we are being sold out from under us by the people in charge. If it hadn't been the Kushners and the Trump family, it would have been the Clintons and the Podestas, I suppose. So, it's not like one or the other is actually really much better, right? These are just the monsters that we currently have in the White House, or, what's it being called? The Winopolis or the Trumpopolis. He thinks it's his own personal little Caligula scene. I can't wait for them to start eating each other alive, like, for real. This is... we are in grave times. John Bolton put a fear in the back of my neck thinking about John Bolton. Those of you who don't know John Bolton, go look him up. This guy has been after Iran for a long time, and he is just a mean-hearted murderer, if you ask me. His background, he ought to be in jail. That's how I feel about John Bolton. Man, this is a time in America. Where are the Republicans? Where is the GOP? Is it just like in Pinochet, where the CIA installed Pinochet into Chile, and all of the parliament in Chile could have stopped Pinochet? They could have taken legislative action to force him down and to force the military down, and they could have won. But they did nothing. They supported him. And that is exactly what's happening now. It is really a grave time. I find it to be a grave time. So that's why I titled this Give Life a Chance, because we need to give life a chance. And we're going to be the ones to give life a chance. There's not, the few of us that are on YouTube talking about Fukushima and how it's affecting us and how it's causing heart disease, genetic mutations. One of my guests on my radio show talked about how she had a thyroidectomy. She mentioned it briefly. She's like, oh yeah, in 2014, thyroidectomy. And she's like, actually, there were several women in my neighborhood who had to have one. And I'm like, I'm thinking Fukushima. I said, well, what about Fukushima? She's like, oh, I don't know. I hadn't thought about that. People haven't even thought about it. But 3 years after Fukushima happened, this whole cluster of people in Oklahoma had thyroidectomies. We are being affected, folks, and people they're not even connecting it. We're not even allowed to talk about it. It's so bizarre how we're not allowed to talk about it. Climate change, they don't even talk about climate. Climate change doesn't even think about nuclear pollution. Oh yeah, that pesky nuclear waste. You think that's not affecting our long-term capacity to maintain life on this planet? All the freaking nuclear waste. We've been bombarded since World War II. Since they discovered it, they've been experimenting on us as much as they possibly can. You think that's not affecting the environment? We have got to take radiation out of the closet. We have got to allow our doctors to be able to diagnose radioactive contamination. And we need to have the nuclear industry admit that, yes, we know people are dying and it is worth the risk. And we are going to continue to do it. And if that's what they're going to do, okay, then. But then allow the medical industry to deal with people instead of denying them things. I mean, personally, I think they should be shut down. And I think probably that's why they don't do any of the testing, because they know that the more they test, the more it will show that nuclear radiation causes a lot more harm than we ever even imagined. That would be my guess. And I'll bet you 2-1 that that is exactly why they don't test, because they already know these results were going to happen. This is a grave time. I keep saying it, man. It's a grave time. I guess it's that eternal optimist in me that thinks that, after the darkest is the dawn. So, things get better when they totally collapse, because I don't know the answer out. But honestly, waiting for the shoe to drop just causes nothing but anxiety to everybody. I mean, that's in fact why we're all anxious about it, because we're waiting for the shoe to drop. We all know intuitively we have not seen the worst of it yet. They're just getting up gearing, man. So we have to think about what we're going to do. And I guess it's kind of a weird prepper thing. It's not even like, maybe it is prepping for the FEMA camps and the government to take over. I don't think the government's going to take over. I think it's going to collapse. I think it's just going to not function. It's going to come to the point where the people who know how to run institutions are not working there. And then the whole thing's just going to turn into this like weird subcontracted Banana Republic little sideshow where a lot of people stay poor and get poor, and a few people get super rich. Mega billionaires. Astro Boy. We're going to have like Astro Boy. If anybody hasn't seen Astro Boy, you should see Astro Boy. It's a cartoon for kids, but it was really them preparing the children for what their plan is for planet Earth. It's like this satellite with elite people circling the Earth, and then the Earth is just a pile of trash. That's very interesting. I was stunned when I watched it, but it's a good movie, and I think kids should never watch Astro Boy, but don't let your kids see Astro Boy. If that was my excuse me, if that was my child, I would never let him watch Astro Boy. But it wasn't my child, so I decided, okay, his mom said he could watch it while I'm babysitting him, and I'll watch it with him. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it is like brainwashing 101. It was unbelievable. But all of us have been exposed to that. That's what we've been bombarded with for the last 60 years. And so now when Fukushima fell apart and we realize that we are super screwed on nuclear, and a lot of people are paying attention to it. And then the geoengineering up there, they're spraying us every single day. We hardly get a wreck. You wonder when it rains, like right now it's raining here in Oregon. Is this real rain or is this geoengineering rain? Like, what kind of rain is it? Is it real or is it faked? Is there chemicals? Is there aluminum coming down on the water there? I mean, it's a weird thought to think about. Or is there radioactivity in the rain? And the answer is probably yes on that one. So yeah, it's definitely a hard time right now. But let's just think realistically. Life is not supposed to be easy, I don't think. I think that's just the nature of living. And that's probably why humanity keeps having to start over, because we let a few people in charge and then they destroy everything and create some type of system that, I don't know, like it to me, honest to God, you guys, it seems to me intentional after looking at all the nuclear and the chemical, the EMF, all the science that they already know about it. I think they intentionally, for real, want to kill people. Like, us. Like our, they're calling the population. They're planting the seeds of the culling now with Fukushima, with the nitrates in the water, with the tritium. I'm beginning to believe that Guy McPherson saying that 2026, he doubts much life is going to be on this planet. I'm beginning to think he's right. When we really look at it, that's less than 10 years away. That seems completely incomprehensible. But it seemed incomprehensible to me that we have open treason in the White House of the United States, and the party in charge refuses to do their duty and their honor to democracy and to even corrupt democracy. They are just ignoring the crimes of this guy who is breaking the Constitution from day one. Shocking. I mean, wow. So, as an American, I have to say it really, and the last time I put out a video was about we've got to go protest this guy. We've got to get him out. We've got to pressure Congress. And actually, the only way, I'm beginning to realize, the only way to get him out, if we really want to do that, is the blue wave. We have to vote for Democrats. And then what? Then we're stuck with corporate Democrats. But they will investigate him, and they will bust up his gang of thieves that's currently sitting in every office of the White House and every piece of the administration. These people are just the worst things for the American people. Unbelievable. Betsy DeVos is devouring student loans and going after students in schools. Oh my God, the HUD department, they're asking for billions of dollars of cuts to HUD. Sorry, poor people, you don't get help. No, you don't get help. I mean, I am just dumbfounded. This is the thing that people go, well, the government shouldn't be helping. But you know why the government helps? Because the government has already given advantages to corporations that cause these people to be poor, that allow them to go, these corporations to go in there and decimate not just their cities, their landscape, their services, destroy their water. So yeah, when the government has allowed these organizations to go in there and do it, the government has a responsibility to help people out, to make it right. And that's the downside to the nuclear industry. The downside is, in fact, it's like big pharma too. The big pharma has the same kind of rules as the nuclear industry. Nobody's held accountable. There's rules that say everybody's not accountable. We do the best we can. We hire the best scientists that we can to assert our assertions, but the government says that we're not responsible because sometimes things don't turn out like science predicts. That is kind of a shock, but that's where we find ourselves in this so-called modern world. Oh, my hair looks funny. Oh gosh, you guys, here we are on YouTube talking to each other, making comments, spending time deleting the nasty people. It's been so long since Fukushima has gotten started. And they're going to do the 2020 Olympics as if it's nothing. Nothing. The people in Tokyo were protesting Shinzo Abe's residents, not because of Fukushima and the lies of the nuclear industry, but because of the corruption of his wife. His wife made some stupid, hideously corrupt deal. I don't know, man. It's a trip. And yet in America, we just ignored ourselves. People living right next to the WIP, living next to Hanford, living next to Diablo Canyon, San Onofre Nuclear Power Plant. Indian Point's been closed for what was it? The one that I saw that's been closed? Pilgrim's been closed for 3 weeks. Shut down. It's been completely shut down. I mean, that's a serious thing. Are they telling us why it's shut down? It was due to close next year, but they shut it down. It's been closed for 3 weeks, meaning it should probably stay shut. But no, they're going to keep beating it up until they have to absolutely close it down, because they make no penalty. They get no penalty for poisoning the environment wherever in that entire area. Beyond comprehension. And yet, there is still a lot of life to be had. And that's what's up to us. It's up to us to help each other out, to do things to help improve our lives, to learn how to eat and take care of ourselves and heal, stay off of the pharma, stay out of the big pharma, the big farming cycle, the industrialized anything industry. Like, stay out of that as much as you possibly can, or we can. Help each other out. I mean, do what we can to buoy each other up and buoy our belief that we're going to find solutions to this, because we don't really have solutions yet, but we have to be able to think of them before we can find the solutions. And I think we have some, like phytoremediation. Well, that takes it out, but it puts it into the plant. And then what do you do with the plant? Because the plant is still highly radioactive. So we have to figure out how to deal with the radioactive. Like, we need scientists to figure out how to put that stuff together and how to stop it or something. Ding, ding, ding. That's their big thing of the century, right? If they could do that, somebody would make $1 billion. But that's what we need. And we need people to think about that and help each other out. And, you know, there is a lot of good things left in life. But yeah, unfortunately, our generation, like, I guess it started in 48. I was born in 55, and I bought the farm, folks, until 5 years ago. So we let it did go on our watch. But guess what? Not knowing about it has ended. And since I found out about it, I have done what I could as much as possible. And I find it ironic that my last video was about it's important to go protest, because guess what? It's not that important to go protest. It makes us feel good. It does. The good part about protesting is it brings people together, and it creates that energetic healing that we need. That is seriously what we could use, is the energetic healing. If we could have that, I really think that we could create solutions so that we don't have mass death. We could have mass healing, and we could allow this simply overpopulated little planet to naturally go through the cycle of peeling down its population to a sustainable position. I mean, I think there's things that we can do. And I think one of the things we can do is believe that we can give life a chance. Believe that love is greater than fear. And believe that happiness is resistance. And, you know, walk every day with integrity. Do the things that you know is right for you. And do it. You know, make your little list, make lists, learn your habits, and learn how to have the do it now habit. You know what I mean? Like, because time is short. We don't have much time for people to come up with brilliant ideas and then not do them. We need people to do their brilliant ideas. And we need people to, like, at least write them down. Do your artwork, do your painting, write your poetry, read your poetry on YouTube, make videos of your paintings. Express yourself, share of yourself and of your artwork and the things that you know of. And if you're not so inclined, then share the other things that you're doing so that we can express an energy out there. That's why, like, I don't know, that's why I felt very compelled today to make a video today and do a live event, because I actually have been intentionally silent on YouTube because I just feel bitter about it. I've gotten to be very bitter because I thought that I had friends from YouTube, and those friends kind of bit me in the back or right in the face or something and just like barked, you know, like seriously shocked me. And we have not really come together. We have not been able to really make a stop in the nuclear industry and make them really stop. We still have attorneys, the activists like at Hanford Challenge. They're basically attorneys, and they're in court, and they don't want to talk to people that make them sound silly, like people like us or me who don't know the terminology, don't really understand the science. very new at it and don't really understand the gravity of the situation, except that it does kill everyone. I do understand the gravity of the situation. I may not understand the science, but I understand the basics. And we have not gotten the community, the anti-nuclear community, to come together. And I mean, it is going on. We're in our 8th year after Fukushima is a disaster. And we have just gone ho-hum. Well, that's not going to get us anywhere, folks, and it's not going to help our children thrive. But the question is, how do we get people to actually say, okay, we're going to pay attention to this? That's the $1 million question, isn't it? And so I think that's my deal. Give life a chance. Help each other. Help our energy. Let's help resonate each other's energy to raise our vibrations up and believe that there's solutions out there. And yes, there's complete bastards that are destroying our civilization, but that's in collapse anyways. I mean, the criminals that are in the White House right now are of the same cabal if we'd have had somebody else in the White House. Just different criminals. These ones are just stupid. And, you know, that's the downside to having stupid criminals. They make big mistakes because they don't know how dumb they are. I mean, at least the smart criminals can prevent complete collapse. Lord, that's where we've devolved to. So anyways, I guess I'm going to end. I see that it's like I'm going on for about a half an hour. I personally don't like to have videos. I actually do kind of like longer videos, to be honest. Like, I like to put on a video when I'm doing housework or when I'm working, you know, doing easy stuff where I don't need to pay attention to it. And just listen for a half an hour or 45 minutes rather than these 5-10 minute videos. I used to think that you could, people say, don't make a video more than 15 minutes. People don't listen. Well, I think people listen if they want to. And I guess I'm not really wanting to appeal to the entire world of YouTube. If I did, maybe that's what I should do, is make some YouTube videos on how to like make different drinks that make you healthy and how to do different things that to heal your body, and for different things that I know about that you could do. There's a lot of different things you can do, like flower therapy. I really believe in flower therapy. That tremendously helped me. I believe in emotional freedom technique too, EFT. So anyways, you guys, I say I have 2 viewers. I love my viewers. Thank you for being here and coming on. I always have a consistent 2 viewers. I hope the 2 viewers are not bots. That would be really great if you weren't bots. And if you are bots, then I guess I'll know, because I'll get some hate mail right away. Hateful comments, blah, blah, blah. So I don't care about the hateful comments. I just delete them. And I don't take it personally. Oh, man, I want us to really enjoy life, folks, because guess what? There's a lot to enjoy. And we can observe what's going on. I think it's important for us to document. I do have videos from 3/11 when we went out to Cape Perpetua. I have not posted them. I have to admit, I have been quite, like I said, bitter. Not even just lazy. It wasn't lazy. I could have squeezed out the time. But I'm like, why do we need more dead zone videos? Like, we know that it's a dead zone out there. Go out there. Go into your own backyard. I mean, we're starting to see it. It's happening. Go into the grocery store. The lemons have these weird bumps on them now. It's like, really? That's not what lemons used to look like. So I guess that's what lemons are going to look like now, thanks to Big Brother. So I say happiness is resistance, and love is greater than fear. And let's buoy each other up and help each other and resonate on a higher level, connect with each other, play in our imagination. Because we can heal ourselves. We can be the healing we need to be. We can heal it all, body, mind, and spirit. We can I mean, I think we can connect with the higher source and the higher spirit and allow solutions to be presented and implemented. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. I'm going to go, you guys. Put your courage feet on. I'll talk with you soon. I don't know how soon, but I am going to be making more videos. This is my new video space. It took me a while to figure it out because Jerome Abear's in my room where I used to make my videos, in my spare room. And my house isn't that big, so I couldn't find a corner. So I did find a little corner in my room, and I think it makes a good sound. But I am going to be doing more videos. I'm not in school this term again. I'll have some time. And I appreciate my subscribers. And I think it's important for us to share and document and engage and get conversation out there. And I don't know about the protesting. Did the protesting work? Did any of it actually do anything? Did they even care that there was like 2 million people in the street, and today probably another million? Probably not. But it does make people feel good, and it brings people together, and it gives them ideas. I think that's the value of it. It's just incentivizing. It brings us together, brings our energies and spirits together. So I'm actually kind of a protester, because I think just having the humans not on this computer, us connecting like here in YouTube, we just like talk to each other this way. But there's a huge difference when you meet with each other face to face and person to person, human to human. And when you're in a crowd of people with the same intention, you create an energy and thought processes and possibilities that weren't there before. And I think that's the value of it all. So anyways, put your courage feet on, you guys, and I will talk to you soon. And ciao.